What's up, guys? It's Rich, back with another video for you guys today. Let me just start off and say thank you for all the support on the last few videos. Tarkov has been doing wonders for my channel. It has been amazing to see it. I want to say thank you so much to anybody who's dropped a sub, anybody who's shown love on the channel, anything like that. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing for that. I want to announce something. We're going to be doing a giveaway on our Kick channel, kick.com/OneShotRich. So we are going to be doing a giveaway once we reach 75 followers. I don't exactly know the exact number I'm at. I'm not close. I'm like halfway to that. So if you want to drop a follow over there at 75 follows, and I'll be announcing another video about it, and I'll be putting out a Twitter post about it. But we're gonna be doing a gift card giveaway, $75 for 75 followers. So if you want to stay tuned for that giveaway, make sure you drop the follow over on Kick, and make sure you stay subbed right here, and maybe follow me on the Twitter if you want to stay up to date. I'll be posting information about the giveaway on all three of those platforms. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you again for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Thank you for all the support. If you do enjoy my content, drop a like. If you don't, sorry, a dislike, and let me know how I can improve, or let me know if you enjoyed the video down in the comments and what you think. Always want to get some good feedback. Today we're going to be talking about some more Escape from Tarkov. Let's get right into it, guys. Not going to waste any more of your time. So today we're going to be talking about how we can stop doing things like this. You know, for example, a lot of people struggle and they end up dying a lot. As you're going to see a lot of my clips here, I die a lot. My overall in the game, my survival rate is 46%. It's not really high, but it's better than a few wipes, or than last wipe, excuse me. And that's because I'm changing the way I play the game. Tarkov has evolved a lot over the last few years, the way you play the game. I'm not calling myself a professional by any means, because I don't have the ability to play 8 hours a day. But I would like to, and maybe we can achieve that dream as a content creator here shortly. Who knows? Either way, I do want to talk about, I want to give some of my helpful information and helpful pointers about how to get better at combat and how to kill people more. Maybe some useful tips that you can apply in your game if you're a new player, it's your first time on a wipe, or even if you're an experienced player. Maybe some of my tips can help you guys. I'm going to just show you some stuff around customs. I want to use some movement and stuff like that I can show you, and then discuss some things that you might see in some of these clips. Other than that, it's really simple, really straightforward. I don't want to complicate it because Tarkov's complicated enough. I just want to give some helpful information for maybe some people who are looking to get some better combat. All right, guys, without any further ado, let's get into the video. We're going to be using the map customs for this explanation, and we're going to be using 2 spots in custom. We're going to be using crack house and dorms, which I believe are some of the most contested portions of the map. Once again, these mechanics you can apply into any map or any raid you play. So don't be alarmed, or don't be like, oh, this will only work on customs. These are basic mechanics that you might want to implement to your gameplay and get a feel for the way you play the game. Once again, this is, this might help beginner players or people new with their first wipe, or experienced players. I just want to, be able to help a bunch of people out. First thing I want to talk about is going to be movement. Movement is really key to any gunfight you play. Sitting still in one area in a corner or anything like that, playing like a vegetable, is really going to make you just much more vulnerable and a lot worse at gunfights, and end up probably dying more. Biggest thing you want to take when taking a fight, for example, let's say you're peeking a corner right here on this right hand side and you notice somebody's coming this way, right? You can hear them, and or you have a teammate up top, you saw them, something like that. Some indications somebody's coming this way. If there's gunshots over there, something like that. Any indication that there's something ahead of you coming your way and you're sitting around a corner waiting for it to come. What you want to do is, if you're sitting in this corner and they don't know you're here, you can try and hold this angle, wait for them to, not have line of sight on you. Once they turn somewhere and have line of sight on you, you want to make sure you get those shots off before they see you. Don't wait so long that you want to take a good shot, yes, but you don't want to wait so long that they become vulnerable sticking out like this. So when you're aiming down sights, let's say somebody turns a corner, you see them, they're close enough in range, you feel like you have a good shot, take your shots at them. Take the 3 or 4 shots, take the spray, whatever it is, depending on the range, take the shots, and then immediately you want to rotate off of that. So what I'll do, for example, is use this position to just show you if somebody's coming. So I'm holding down this right peak. I'm going to take some shots because I saw somebody come around there. Then I'll want to rotate, because they're going to probably rotate to the right. I can rotate to this side, and I can try and hold this peak and see if they're rotating this way and trying to flank around me. Or additionally, if you want to play some more advanced, maybe you feel more comfortable in your gameplay, you can, instead of rotating to the left side, you can rotate inside. I would close this door behind me, right? For example, cut off any movement in between you and the players, right? You could rotate into a top-down position, right? So somewhere you can like overlook them. And you don't want to stand. This is a big thing I see a lot of people do. You don't want to stand like up to a window to the point where you can just be seen. You can get tapped through this window super easily, either by scavs in stronghold on the LMGs or the grenade launchers, and or just regular players. So if you're going to play this window, play at an angle, hop on here, hop on an angle, try and make yourself as least exposed. That would be my number 2 thing. 1 being movement. Don't stay still in a gunfight. Number 2, make yourself as least exposed as possible. If you hold down Alt and A and D, that is your slow lean. A lot of people don't utilize that and they just use Q and E, and that's a really fast lean. But if you kind of slow lean, you can position yourself better and limit how much exposure you have. For example, we'll use this doorway as a positional metric, just so you can see the difference. So if I hit Q here, I'll just immediately lean out, right? But if I hit Alt A and I'll slowly peek a corner, I can maybe see what's going on a little bit better without fully extending myself out. So using slow peeks to your advantages, or even you can crouch and then hit a sidestep, Alt Q to quickly peek and get back inside. That's a super duper helpful mechanic. So if you hit Alt Q, boom, boom, and you're back inside. It's super clean. Definitely don't overcompensate yourself. Like, don't overwork yourself if you're still learning the game with movement. Tarkov is one of the most unique games when it comes down to movement, but it is really important for any factor in any gunfight you have that your movement is at the top of your priority. Yes, having good aim is important, but a lot of the time in Tarkov, it's so much more just randomized and RNG in a gunfight that you want to give yourself the best advantages to win those gunfights. Next thing I want to talk about, number 3, is going to be sound. Okay, sound is really important. Really dead giveaways to the position of enemies, the position of yourself, the position of teammates, and or scavs. You want to make sure you're preparing yourself with either bringing in a good headset in raid. I mean, a lot of people play this game, might say headsets are worthless. Audio is probably the worst it's been. I mean, audio is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you have people walking up to you. Sometimes it's impossible to tell if they're above you or under you. You gotta just take your gander with it. I definitely always use headphones, unless I'm like really having a bad night and I'm just gonna go in like just with a little Momex or a head sleeve, and that's it. No headset. The headsets I recommend while we're talking about sound, M32s are cheap, pretty good. Definitely don't use I think the GGSHs or GSHs. Those are awful. I definitely don't recommend those at all. Those don't do you any good. They're just gonna hear. I mean, if you can't afford anything, I guess go for those, but take that as you will. I don't think they're good. M32s are solid. Comtac 2s are probably the best for their price. Comtac 4s are my best, in my opinion. That's the way they go. I know there's other headsets in the game, but always you play around with it. Get a good feel for what you hear, what you feel. Sound is going to be really important to being able to determine footsteps. What you want to make sure you don't do. If you see these bushes like this, you'll notice they make sounds. These tall bushes and trees will give you sound indicators to where you are or where an enemy's at. So make sure you use them to your advantage and don't make yourself vulnerable by using them. What you want to do is you'll want to make sure you can avoid these tall bushes. Yep. These tall bushes, these big piles of grass, if you can avoid them, you're going to be a lot less detectable. And something neat, if you use your scroll wheel, you can slow down your speed you're walking to any speed from full speed down to the slowest speed or something in between. If you hit caps lock by default, I've rebound that, but it's M for me. This can actually take you from 100 down to 0 as fast as possible. So this can help you just be completely undetectable. Make sure you're using footstep audio to your advantage and gunfight audio to your advantage to give yourself positional awareness. So next thing I want to talk about when moving and when you're in a gunfight is making sure you pay attention to your health. So in your top left, you can see I have my character's body, if you will, his outline constantly on. You can actually do that if you go into settings and you go into game, and you can turn all of these on. Health condition, that's the one I have on, always shown. So that'll constantly show me my player instead of only when I'm taking damage, so I know what's going on with my guy. You need to be aware of your important vitals. So your head and your thorax are probably the most important. Your legs, if you want to run, but if you have painkillers, you can at least run through. If your stomach has been blacked out, then you'll be losing energy, and water really quickly. So if you notice in a firefight, you get in a firefight and you notice your stomach gets blacked out, be aware that even if when you win that firefight, to get your stomach patched up fast. I think a lot of people just don't put a lot of value in their stomach being blacked out. They're like, okay, I survived, I didn't take that much damage. But a blacked out stomach can really screw you over for later or the mid to late raid, because you'll run out of water and run out of energy quicker. And if you don't have any, you'll be not regenerating any stamina and maybe losing some health as well. So just keep that in mind. Be aware of your player in the top left. Make sure you're aware of your heals. So healing is really important. Healing at the right time is also really important. While we're talking about that, I want you to be aware that if you notice yourself in a gunfight and you are leaking, biggest thing, one, if you have stims, definitely go ahead and pop a Zagustin. These will stop all light and heavy bleeds right away. This will kind of dry you up essentially. So if you've got holes and you're a leaker, make sure you pop one of those. But if you can't and you're just in a position that's really poor, and you feel like there's a guy about to push you and he knows he's got the weak, don't heal. If you can sacrifice waiting on the heal to keep your gun up, that is more important. You can heal after, even if you've got 1 HP, okay, you can win a gunfight. That's the biggest thing. Keep your gun up. Don't quickly pop some heals. Now, if you're in a position where they hit you from far away and you can heal before they get to you, absolutely go for it. Definitely make sure you're aware of use that sound like we were talking about earlier to prepare yourself for when a guy's pushing you to when to heal. So be aware of those things. So we've covered positional movement, your kind of awareness as far as where you are in line of sight to the player. Make sure you're not too aware. We've covered sound and we've covered healing. As far as everything else, making sure the last thing I really want to talk about here while we're in dorms is utilizing the environment to your advantage. This is a really, really good one that I think a lot of people overlook is don't try and just stand in a line of sight. This goes back to my second point where you can just be seen super easily, okay? Make sure you utilize your environment. Learning the maps and learning where to play is huge. Even playing offline raids is going to be so big for you because you can learn how to position yourself in areas you think you can feel comfortable shooting from. And that's a big thing. You might see a cool area that somebody showed you on stream or YouTube or something like that, but you don't really know how your gun's going to play from there. Going offline, be like, okay, this is a cool spot. I can see down second floor and prepare myself from stairs. So the only thing exposed is my head, and I can actually spray from here pretty easily. But you got to get a good position of where their heads are coming from, right? So you might be aiming too high or too low, right? So you want to make sure you're positioning yourself properly and where your crosshair should be at. Crosshair placement is huge. I see a lot of players with a crosshair where it's like here, it looks like it's straight, right? Like I guess for some players, this might look straight, right? But in reality, look where I'm aiming. I'm aiming up down to the ground. I'm aiming at their feet. You want to make sure, and it won't feel natural in comparison if you play other games before, to have it down. You want to aim it up and towards the middle, okay? Maybe even line yourself up with a crosshair first. This was something I taught myself early on. So crosshair placement, right? So I'll ADS with the sight. I'll see where the middle head of their screen, or where a player would be, like the head area, and then I'll release the ADS. And that's, I will custom myself to where my gun should be at all times. Because I used to be one of those players that I would play it like here, right? This felt comfortable, this felt normal, the gun looked straight, looked good to me, right? But when I was aiming down here, and then I would have to compensate and pull up once the gunfight started, and I would be at a disadvantage. So making sure your line of sight and your reticle placement is important and very, very key. And that goes for practicing areas you can play at and position yourself at. For example, in dorms, you have areas like this where you can go down and prone. Oop, let me see if I can show you. So this can show you the entire second floor, right? And you can see all the way down to the doorway when somebody opens it. The light shines through and you can easily see somebody running in, and you're not exposing yourself at all. So utilizing the environment to your advantage to make yourself a better player and not exposing yourself is going to make you survive a lot more raids and win a lot more gunfights, right? For a lot of people, aim training is really important. I have good aim. I've played a lot of FPS shooters, so I don't really spend a time in the hideout practicing my aim, but maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to go to the hideout and practice your aim, get it narrowed down the line of sights, and making sure you know where you aim in firefights and how your recoil of your gun's going to work. What I do a lot of times, I don't practice in the hideout, but I'll take a gun in, for example, that I don't know how it's going to work and turn out when I'm, using it in firefights. So if it's a gun build, I want to confirm that it's good. So I'll enter into my hideout real quick. I forgot to turn my lights on, but it's fine. It's going to be dark for the video, but it's okay. I can try my weapon, and I can get a feel how full auto is going to be, and I can get a feel how single fire is going to be. Is this a good build? Does this feel comfortable? It does for me, so we're going to use it, okay? That's what I recommend for people, who have good aim and they still want to utilize the shooting range. It's a good place to get good builds. Other than that, guys, that kind of wraps it up. It's really simple. I know for a lot of, if you've watched this video and you're a veteran of Tarkov, you're probably like, wow, this is really basic. This didn't really help me at all. It really wasn't meant for you. It was really meant for beginner people who are learning the game. This is their first wipe, maybe their second wipe early on in the game, and want to get better at combat and get better at pacing with the game. This is a really, hopefully helpful tips and information for you. If you did enjoy the video, drop a like, guys. If you didn't really think it was helpful, drop a dislike. It gives me a good gauge of what to make content-wise moving forward. But I think a lot of people have been enjoying my Tarkov videos, and I want to do a giveaway over my Kick channel if we can go over and hit affiliate there. So if you have a Kick channel or a Kick account, if you want to show some love over there, it's kick.com/oneshotrich. Again, guys, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Have a great day, guys. Peace.